Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another preschool story time. Did you guys recognize who it is today? It's Miss Courtney. I've got my witch hat on, my little cape, my tutu, my leggings. I'm all decked out and ready for Halloween. So today is our final book in our series, and it's Happy Halloween, Charlie Brown. And this is brought to us by Simon & Schuster Publishing. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what's going on for Mr. Charlie Brown here. Charlie Brown was excited. His friend Violet had just handed him an invitation. It's for my annual Halloween party. This year there's going to be a costume contest, Violet said. I'll be there, said Charlie Brown. Oh, look it, he's got an invitation. That's awesome. Meanwhile, Lucy was teaching her little brother, Rerun, all about Halloween. We wear costumes, say trick or treat, and people give us things, Lucy told him. Rerun's eyes widened. They give us things? Like a new bicycle, he asked. No, Lucy said. Probably just candy. Sometimes a quarter, sometimes an orange. I'd rather have a bike, said Rerun. I can't ride to school on an orange. Look at how silly. Lucy's other brother, Linus, wanted to teach Rerun all about Halloween too. Most important, Rerun, Linus began, on Halloween, the great pumpkin will rise out of the pumpkin patch. Lucy interrupted Linus immediately. Oh, no, you don't. She pushed Linus out the door. Forget what he said, Rerun. Halloween is all about having fun and candy. Oh, Lucy. Charlie Brown could not decide on a costume for the party. He usually dressed as a ghost, but this year he wanted to try something different. He decided to ask for advice from his favorite beagle. Who would that be? Did I hear Snoopy? That's right, Snoopy is his favorite beagle. Snoopy, you're a dog who enjoys costumes, Charlie Brown said. What should I wear to Violet's Halloween party? Look at him. He looks like he's thinking. He's going, I don't know, Charlie Brown. Let's think. Snoopy rummaged through his costume trunk. Charlie Brown decided against dressing as a firefighter, a park ranger, or a flying ace. Snoopy had one last idea. He placed a large, oddly shaped hat with a feather on Charlie Brown's head. A pirate, Charlie Brown said. Surprised, he thought for a moment and said, I like it. Look at him. He really does look like a pirate, doesn't he? Look at how happy Snoopy is. He feels like I helped my owner pick out his costume. Lucy decided Rerun needed Halloween preparation and walked him over to a neighbor's house. We need to practice your trick-or-treating skills, she said. She handed him an old pillowcase. Now go ring the doorbell, hold open the pillowcase, and say trick or treat. Do you think we need to practice our trick-or-treat skills? Maybe if we've never been trick-or-treating. Rerun took a deep breath and he rang the doorbell. His friend Sally opened the door. My brother is practicing for Halloween, Lucy explained. Sally looked at Rerun. Okay. She waited for Rerun to say something. May I help you? She asked impatiently. He says, I forgot the words. Sally groaned and said, come back when you remember. And she slammed the door. Rerun stepped back feeling embarrassed. Was that a very nice thing to do to Rerun? No. Maybe she should have waited a little longer. Snoopy and Woodstock sat on the doghouse looking over the Halloween costume Charlie Brown had pieced together. Along with the pirate hat, Charlie Brown was wearing a long velvet jacket, see that? And a puffy shirt, real puffy, and big boots. Neither Snoopy nor Woodstock appeared impressed. You're right, something is missing. Maybe a silver belt buckle? Charlie Brown raced off to keep working on his costume. Doesn't he really look like a pirate? I love his costume. We'd better pick our costumes too, Snoopy thought. Woodstock chirped excitedly. Snoopy put on a mysterious black cape, popped plastic fangs in his mouth, and struck a sinister pose. How about this? I could be a vampire. Do I look scary? What do you think? Does Snoopy look like a vampire? I think he does. Woodstock laughed so hard he fell off the doghouse. Look at him laughing. He thinks Snoopy looks funny. Halloween had finally arrived. Lucy and Rerun were in full costumes. Rerun was dressed as a cowboy and Lucy as a regal queen. See that? Look at the pumpkins that they cut out. You look great, Lucy told him. Remember, give everyone a big smile and say trick or treat. But before we go, there's something we need to do. Rerun followed Lucy to the backyard pumpkin patch. Linus held up a sign that read, Welcome, Great Pumpkin. Linus, we're going trick-or-treating and then to Violet's party. Are you going to come? Lucy asked. Linus shook his head. No, thank you. I know the Great Pumpkin will show up this year. Look at, he's in the pumpkin patch waiting for the Great Pumpkin. Lucy sighed. Fine, but don't expect us to save you any candy. Oh, look at her brother. Both of them. Lucy and Rerun left to go trick-or-treating. As they walked, Rerun smiled. Now I get it. The reason you're so concerned with us getting a lot of candy is so that we will have enough to share with Linus, right? Lucy nodded. Yes, that's the reason, she said. She paused. And if you tell anyone, I'll tie you to a tree with your own lasso. See, she really wants to help her brother and make sure she has candy for him. Charlie Brown stood nervously at Snoopy's doghouse. He still didn't feel like his costume was ready. I don't know what it is, he said. Something's wrong. Something is missing, Snoopy thought. Then Woodstock chirped up with an idea. Snoopy smiled at his friend. That's perfect, he said. Charlie Brown was looking forward to seeing all of his friends when he knocked on Violet's door. Violet was impressed by Charlie Brown's costume. Charlie Brown, said Violet, your costume is the best one I've seen tonight. Charlie Brown smiled. We figured out what was missing. Every good pirate needs a crew. And he turned to reveal Snoopy and Woodstock, who are dressed as pirates too. See, now everybody gets to go to the party and everyone gets to get included. The end. What a great story about Halloween. So guys, now we need to get out our craft bags so we can make our pumpkin puppet. All right, boys and girls, does everyone have their craft bag ready? I can't wait to make our great pumpkin puppet. Right now, it just might look like a plain paper bag, right? But wait till we start to put all of our pieces together and it will really start to look like a pumpkin. So, there's lots of small little pieces in this bag. So we have a big piece like this and a big piece like this. So this part is going to go on the top part of the bag. See how it goes right like this? So that's our orange for our pumpkin. So we're going to put some glue like this. And we're going to put it right on our bag. Perfect. Now we want to make sure we let it dry a little bit. I know it's kind of, we want to get in there and start messing with our bag, but we really need to let it dry. Then we're going to put some glue on this other long piece. See? I put some glue on it, and I'm going to lift up that part of the bag so that the orange goes over the whole part of the bag. And I'm going to push down so that way the glue starts to dry and it really starts to get in there. So now we have an orange bag, right? So it was brown and now it's orange. So you should have a little piece like this. Now this is the stem of our pumpkin. So at the very top there's a lip on your bag. You're going to put your stem like this so that you can see how your pumpkin is really starting to come together. So see, I have my two orange pieces and my green part for my pumpkin. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some lines on my pumpkin. You know why? Because if you look at pumpkins like this one here, see how they have all these little lines on them? Pumpkins are not just a full circle with no lines at all or no bumps. So I'm going to draw some lines on it with an orange. I'm going to try orange first. If it doesn't work, then I might go to a gray color. And I'm going to start at this one right here, and I'm going to just go right down the middle. Now remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's my puppet. I don't need to get a ruler out. I can just draw my lines my way, all the way down my bag. And it looks like that orange marker is really doing a good job to contrast all these little bumps on the puppet. So I'm going to keep going. So now, as you can see, it's starting to come together. I have all my little lines for my pumpkins, from all of these little bumps on the pumpkin, and then I have my little stem, and I have this is where my face is gonna go, because it's a puppet, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hand in, and I can make my puppet talk, see? So you have a couple different options. We gave you two options for faces. You can do the traditional triangle, or you can make it a little different and do these kind of oval-y shapes. So that's, I think, the route I'm gonna go, is I'm gonna do a different type shape. So I'm gonna put my eyes on my puppet. And I'm gonna do a big friendly mouth, because I just love carving pumpkins. Halloween's one of my favorites. So I love dressing up and giving out candy and all the fun stuff that Halloween has to offer. Now, I do have some leftover stuff that I'm not going to use, but there's an extra triangle in here. So this is going to be my nose of my pumpkin. I'm going to put a little glue on that. Put that right in the middle there. Awesome. And I do have some foamy shapes that are also in my bag that I am going to put on the bottom part of my pumpkin. All sorts of little things. So I want to make my pumpkin look really Halloweenish. So I'm going to do a couple little witchy feet down here. I'm going to do a little witchy hat on it. But remember, you've got all sorts of foamies that I've included that you can use. So this is what my creation looks like. So I've made the lines out of orange marker, and I've used the cutouts from the bag, and I've used the foamies that are included in your bag. And this is my pumpkin. So I've got my puppet. See? He says, "Happy Halloween, boys and girls." Thank you so much for joining me. I've had so much fun being with you guys. So you guys have a great Halloween. Stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you.